When you think of Somalia, what's the first image that comes to mind? For many, it's a picture painted by headlines of conflict and instability. But what if I told you there was a time, not so long ago, when Somalia was a beacon of hope, democracy, and progress in Africa? A time known as Somalia's Golden Decade. Let us rewind the clock to the 1960s and uncover a story of a nation brimming with optimism and potential. Our story begins on July 1, 1960. A day of immense joy and celebration. After decades under colonial rule, the British Somaliland Protectorate and the Trust Territory of Somaliland, formerly Italian Somaliland, united to form the independent Somali Republic. Imagine the energy in the streets of Mogadishu, the new capital. A new flag, the white five-pointed Star of Unity on a sky-blue background, was raised, symbolizing the 5 regions where Somali people lived. A wave of nationalism and patriotism swept across the land. The dream of a unified Greater Somalia was alive, and the future seemed limitless. At the heart of this new nation was a vibrant, multi-party democracy. Unlike many newly independent African states that quickly fell into one-party rule or military coups, Somalia embraced political pluralism. In fact, it was often called the graveyard of foreign aid because its politicians were so independent and fiercely debated every decision, refusing to be swayed by outside influence. Aden Abdullah Osman Dar, affectionately known as Aden Atta, became the first president. He was a respected nationalist leader, known for his integrity and commitment to democratic principles. The political scene was lively, to say the least. Dozens of political parties competed in elections. Newspapers flourished, filled with passionate debates and critiques of the government. This was a society where freedom of speech wasn't just a concept, it was practiced daily in the tea shops and public squares of every town. The 1967 presidential election was a landmark moment. President Aden Atta lost to his prime minister, Abdirashid Ali Shermarke, in a tight and peaceful race. In a move that was rare for the continent at the time, Aden Atta gracefully conceded defeat and handed over power. This peaceful transition was a testament to the strength of Somalia's young democratic institutions. It was a moment of immense pride and a symbol of political maturity that earned Somalia respect across Africa and the world. But the Golden Decade wasn't just about politics. It was an era of incredible cultural and social vibrancy. Mogadishu, the white pearl of the Indian Ocean, was a stunningly beautiful city. Its unique blend of Somali, Arab, and Italian architecture, with whitewashed buildings and seaside promenades, created a cosmopolitan atmosphere. People from all over the world walked its streets. The city was clean, safe, and bustling with life. You could spend an evening at a cinema watching an Italian film, enjoy a delicious pasta dish at a seaside restaurant, and then listen to live traditional Somali music at a nightclub, all in one night. The Lido Beach was famous, with families and friends gathering to enjoy the sun and sand. Music was the heartbeat of the nation. This was the era of legendary bands like the Wabri Singers. Their music, a fusion of traditional Somali sounds with influences from jazz, soul, and rock and roll, echoed from radios and dance halls. Artists like Magul, the mother of Somali music, and Haibo Nura became household names. Their songs weren't just for entertainment, they were powerful expressions of national identity, love, and social commentary. Poetry, an ancient and deeply revered art form in Somali culture, also thrived. Poets were like rock stars, their words shaping public opinion and capturing the spirit of the age. The economy was also on an upward trajectory. With a mixed economy model, the government invested heavily in infrastructure and public services while also encouraging private enterprise. New roads, schools, and hospitals were built across the country. The agricultural sector, particularly banana exports, was booming. Small-scale industries began to emerge, producing textiles, processed food, and other goods. While Somalia was still a developing nation, there was a tangible sense of progress. Literacy rates were rising, and a new generation of educated Somalis was emerging. ready to lead the nation into the future. The spirit of Iskawaxu Kabso, which means do-it-yourself or self-reliance, was a powerful force. Communities came together to build their own schools, wells, and clinics. This collective spirit, this belief that together they could build a better nation, was a defining characteristic of the era. The national airline, Somali Airlines, connected Mogadishu to cities in Africa, the Middle East, and Europe, a symbol of a nation confidently engaging with the world. The National University was a hub of intellectual activity, training the doctors, engineers, and administrators the country needed. So, what happened to this promising nation? The dream began to fray towards the end of the decade. Political fragmentation grew, with corruption becoming a more significant issue. The assassination of President Shermark in October 1969 created a power vacuum. Just days later, the military, led by Major General Syed Barre, seized power in a bloodless coup. The democratic experiment was over. The constitution was suspended, political parties were banned, and the nation was set on a new, authoritarian path. The Golden Decade had come to an abrupt and tragic end. Looking back at Somalia's Golden Decade is not about dwelling on a lost past. It's about remembering a different story, a counter-narrative to the one we so often hear. It's a reminder that Somalia has a rich history of democracy, unity, and cultural brilliance. It's a testament to the resilience and spirit of the Somali people. This history is a source of inspiration, a blueprint that shows what is possible. It's a legacy that proves that the story of Somalia is not just one of struggle, but also one of incredible achievement and enduring hope. Thank you for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more hidden histories. What part of this story surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.